Josiah, we're coming to people. You can't sigh at the start of every episode.
Do I? Is that my thing?
It's become your thing. It's like I'm trying to sort of bring listeners into our world.
Into our world.
And you just sort of remind them, I guess, of just the pointlessness of this and any exercise that one might partake in.
The pointlessness of life.
Yeah,
itself.
it just drives it home right off the bat. And I feel like you want to wait until like hour 2 for that kind of creeping sense of your own pathetic mortality kind of just
I like that you
envelops
assume that
like a
I'm
blanket.
sighing at myself and not at you.
I think you're sighing at the whole exercise again, and I think that I am obviously part of that. So it's not that I think that you're sighing like, you know, at your own sort of foolishness. I do understand that it's kind of directed at me and all of this idiocy that I've brought into our lives.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just letting air out of my lungs. Jeez. What's the problem?
Just be cool. So
there's all kinds of excuses we could make right now. I mean, you've got the sniffles.
I apparently have the sniffles, which I didn't notice until we started recording. And you were like, "Are you sick?" And I was like, "I don't think so," but evidently I sound sniffly.
You sound like Tom.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, but I think here's the excuse I'm going to go with. We wanted to record close to a live episode because I don't know how much you've been on the internet today, but I think you might have forgotten about something. Today is a very, very special day.
I don't know what day it is today.
There's been a lot of holidays lately, a lot of various things to celebrate. What's the one that happened last week on Monday? That was some sort of day.
Okay, yeah,
there's a day coming up, New Year's, I guess it's called.
I believe is the classic terminology for that day. Yeah,
yeah. Are we allowed to call it New Year's anymore?
I think because I think Trump has freed us from the war on New Year's, and we can say Happy New Year's to each other again.
Well, yesterday I read actually because I'm still working, so I'm like just desperate for content for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yesterday I saw on, and this is finally he can get his own shout out. This guy Sean, who is seemingly obsessed with us, he works for Punk News. And yesterday I saw in Punk News, yesterday in Boston was officially the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones Day.
So wait, this is like a post Mighty Mighty Boss Tones Day.
No, I'm just giving you. I'm giving you the context of what all the special days are this week. So that's another one to add to the list. But the thing that you're forgetting, which is this was your thing. Today is December 29th.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes.
YouTube user Sonic4079's birthday from the Dysentery Gary episode.
So, dude, like last night, I was out. It was one of my aunts. It was her 75th birthday. Cousin of mine planned a surprise party for her. So we're out at the condo party room, just like.
Wait, is her name Sonic4079 on YouTube?
Yes. So I closed the loop on that. The point is, we're enjoying some brews. We're, reminiscing about, the past as you do when you hang out with your cousins and people who are 75. And I get an alert on my phone that's sort of coming up, an all-day event. Tomorrow, it says, is just in all caps, Sonic birthday. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And then it came up again today on my phone. And so as you were talking about what special day it was, I was like, oh, after this, I'm going to ask you if you know what Sonic birthday means. Okay, so I guess should we live? Well, can you kind of contextualize?
Yeah, I mean, so I've already written, here's what happened. I completely forgot about it too because there's a lot of hours of content of us babbling on about Blink-182.
Yeah, we've made a lot of promises.
But recently, because of the exclusive about MXPX featuring Mark Hoppus, we now have a new fan in the MXPX memes Twitter and Instagram account. So there's an account that makes MXPX memes.
Sick. Do you love this account? Is this like up there with Blink-182 confessions for you?
This is the kind of swirling toilet bowl that is my life. It's just like now I'm friends with an MXPX memes account. Yeah, it's great. But anyways, this person just started catching up on the pod, and then they pointed out yesterday on Twitter, like, tomorrow's the big day. And then today they've posted it. And now everyone on our Twitter is going crazy wishing them a happy birthday. And when I wrote happy birthday on the video with my personal YouTube account, the video was at 182 views.
Oh,
so it's all just working out.
What
it's
a
all
magical day.
Great for Sonic, whatever the number is.
Sonic 40...
79, I think.
Yeah, Sonic 4079. Okay, well, I gotta post, and I don't mean to brag, but like, as a verified YouTube user, I suspect like I get alerts sometimes when like verified YouTube users comment on my videos. So, maybe this will give it like a little bump because I'll write from the This Exists account, which is a very semi-popular YouTube channel.
Yeah, please do. I think you should do it right now because I'd love to see what happens since we have the benefit of being almost live today.
Yeah, almost live from Sonic 4079's birthday and 100% live from your job.
Yeah, I'm on the clock right now. But yeah, I guess I should contextualize because maybe people haven't listened to all 45 hours of this podcast.
Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, keep going, please.
So the Dysentery Gary episode, in addition to me describing shitting my own pants, there was also...
It's an iconic episode. It is probably the greatest episode.
It is one of the ones you should listen to. There's a horribly terrible quality interview with Mish from White Lung.
Oh, it's so bad.
There's all kinds of stuff. It's like, yeah, it's a classic. But anyways, we found this video. Well, I should say I found it by someone named Sonic4079. That's like just a couple lyrics of Dysentery Gary with imagery of Sonic the Hedgehog. And that's about it. But the video said Sonic / Dysentery Gary / happy birthday to me. And the user had written, well, today's my birthday. So I decided to make myself this video. And it was uploaded on December 29th, 2011. So now, 6 years later, finally this video and this person is getting the birthday celebration that they deserve.
Yeah, I mean, there are like already over half a dozen comments wishing Sonic 4079 happy birthday, including Daniel Leary, MXPX Memes, you, Dirty James, Stuart the Sock, Sean Crawford, and then This Exists. So... let's keep those birthday wishes coming if you listen to this pod later today when we finally upload it.
Exactly. So that's why we waited until today. That's the official word.
Wow. I didn't realize you were going to have that good of an excuse. I thought like we'd just be like, it's the holidays, man. It's busy.
Oh my God. I just got an alert too. Sonic. That just says Sonic.
Really?
I just got the reminder right now while talking because I usually set my reminders for noon.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, there we go. I mean, it's all happening. Sonic 4079, love you. I wish you nothing but the best. I don't know how old you are or if you're a human being or an algorithm or what, but God bless you and all the best.
Well, it's interesting that you would be wishing an algorithm a happy birthday today because also live today on the pod is the release of the 4th season of Black Mirror on Netflix. So
right.
Wishing an algorithm happy birthday because of a, potentially randomly generated cover video of Dysentery Gary feels like a plot, certainly from this later era in Black Mirror when it is reaching.
Well, I will tell you this. I've already watched it all for work. I've already seen the entire new season.
Oh.
And it sucks ass. If you're listening live today, I will tell you there's one episode that's actually good, and I would say it's the only good episode of the last 2 seasons. I mean, I guess... I understand why people like San Junipero, even though it's kind of corny, but
but it's awesome.
There's a new one called Crocodile that's actually fucking awesome and like very dark and creepy. So that one, if you're watching it and you're like, oh, I don't want to watch this one about how like lightning cables are actually, or like every time you forget your password and do a password reset, it goes to like a child slave mine or something.
Are you riffing right now? Or is that like, because...
I don't know. Maybe. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, but watch the episode Crocodile. Wish Sonic 4079 a happy birthday. Watch the episode Crocodile. And let's do
dogs eating
now.
Dogs. Dogs Eating Dogs is a song that I picked for this week's episode, feeling like it was time for us to dip into this weird era of the band, but also knowing that like I didn't spend a lot of time with this EP. And I'm curious what your relationship with Dogs Eating Dogs, both the song and the sort of larger collection in which it rests, was.
What year was this again? Like 2013?
Yeah, something like that. This is the sort of information that we should have, eh?
Look, we're rushing here.
2012, in fact, but the end of 2012, which is basically 2013. Like, this wouldn't have made it onto any best of lists in 2012.
Well, maybe back then they actually waited a little bit longer.
Who releases December 18th? Maybe we'll get into this, but like, why would you release something like the week before Christmas?
I think this was one of those things where there was a bunch of delays, and also this was like this is their only actual like independently released recordings. Like they weren't on a label at this time.
Yeah. Is that why
they did like I remember them doing like a whole statement. They're like, we're an indie band now or something. Like
weird. But like, is that why there was no money to make real artwork for this? Because that's obviously the first thing maybe we have to address is how Dogs Eating Dogs looks.
It's even just the placement of the font is so frustrating. Like it's just like crammed in the corner. I do think. Okay, I just found what I wanted. Have you seen this Ariel Pink haunted graffiti cover where it's like drawings of humans making out with animals? It's like so creepy.
No, I
just sent you the. It's always like being memed and stuff because it's like so creepy.
Right.
But I feel like it reminds me of that in a way because it's just like a hyper realistic drawing. Like here's what I think. If it was just the dog, it could almost be cool and kind of a bold statement.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that stencil font makes it look like it's like a Call of Duty expansion pack kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And then there's just nothing worse than like flash art writing. Like I gotta say, tattoos are pretty much, and I have some tattoos, but I think tattoos are like so fucking corny. And tattoo artists should not be allowed anywhere near Blink-182. But I think this is Travis's influence, and it's ruining it. Like, the California cover also is awful, and I feel like that D-Face guy or whatever is kind of tattoo-inspired.
Yeah, it's true. Tattoos are cool, but also extremely bad. And this cover is extremely Travis, for sure. I agree with you. I think if it was just the dog, but the fact that the blood on the dog's fangs is red and it's the only color, it looks like something that I would have drawn in the 5th grade. Like, it's so juvenile in its sort of both, like, conceptually and in execution.
Yeah, I agree. And also, okay, so it's drawn by someone named Franco Vescovi. I just saying he kind of looks like he would be a celebrity chef more than a tattoo artist, but I don't know. He draws like very traditional, like just hyper realistic portrait sort of tattoos, and I assume he's friends with Travis. But yeah, like fuck, I don't know. Also, just like the thing is, a lot of Reddit people have tried to recreate the art or like make new, better art, like try to improve it, but it's all pretty bad. And I think the reason is like, if you're going to call it Dogs Eating Dogs, which is like, it's a pretty evocative statement, don't fucking put dogs on the cover. Like, you don't need to be so literal. And this is always the problem with everything. Don't be literal with the title is Dogs Eating Dogs, so put something else on there.
Yeah, it's true. It's sort of like driving it home. It's like, yo, do you know what a dog is? Here's a quick reminder of how a dog looks. And if a dog had eaten another dog, here's the blood.
A little bit of blood.
Yeah. Do you get it? Yeah. Do you get it? Because you're right. It actually is. It's a sick title. Like it's not like it's like a groundbreaking turn of phrase or anything, but it is, like you said, it's super kind of evocative, and especially like maybe at the moment in their career, kind of that it came out, feels like a bit of a statement thing, and as like this independent release at the end of a major career, but then it's just also so dumb.
Like, I guess the title is maybe reference. Well, I mean, not to fall into this fucking trap again, but people think that it's like the lyrics of this song are somehow referencing Tom and Mark falling out or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Fucking every song is, but at least this song is about like the competitive nature, right? Like that's what the phrase evokes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's like so much that could be done with this, and instead they just like I don't know. It looks like a sticker that you'd get in one of those like gumball machines that gives out stickers inside the Safeway doors.
Oh yeah, or like at a Bowl-O-Rama where it's like tattoo stickers, and it comes out with that friggin' dog. Interestingly, Franco Vescovi, who did the artwork that we've been shitting on now for 5 or 10 minutes, has, a weighty list of celebrity clients. You correctly guessed that Travis Barker is one of them, but also Dennis Rodman, and maybe most relevant to this EP, if not this episode. So this EP, not this ep. That's funny.
That's really good.
Yeah, Yelawolf, who we hope to have on the pod to discuss his appearance later on the Dogs Eating Dogs EP. So Franco Vescovi is sort of like the center, the creative center of this entire release.
So they're just like, it's just like 3 really corny fucking like Famous Stars and Straps trailer park kind of guys.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And Fieldy. So pretty sick.
Well, actually, yeah. And that's the other thing about this one is like, this was recorded by someone named Chris Holmes. So there's another outside party in this EP. Like he's never worked with the band otherwise.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if we want to just sort of get right into this song and how the song sounds and is, but I personally think it's kind of rad because it sort of has a lot of the kind of like Neighborhoods songwriting ideas, but without the like total insanity of the way that Neighborhood sounds. Like it is kind of a band in a room for the most part. And this song in particular is like, songwriting wise, you could see it being one of the better songs on Neighborhoods, but it sounds like just like a sick rock band playing a song.
Well, this dude, Christopher Holmes, there's not like a lot of information out there about him, but I found like an interview with him about it. And he's worked with like 9 Inch Nails and stuff before.
Sick. And do you like 9 Inch Nails? Where do you land on 9 Inch Nails?
I think I'm too old to like properly like them. Like I know some of my friends really, really sincerely respect them, but I just associate them with like the people that I thought were really lame in high school.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I like Korn now. Like I think we've talked about this before. I only got into Korn like a year ago, so I feel like I might be ready to get into Nine Inch Nails. Maybe I'll give them a chance.
You're gonna get really into like early, particularly corny 9 Inch Nails, though. Like not sort of Trent Reznor as an adult, but like as an emotional sort of aggro teen. So yeah,
like I remember, I do remember liking his Social Network soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like he made it sound so fucking dark and epic to watch people code.
Yeah, there's a lot of real nice piano in that.
So, but yeah, this guy has worked with like Chili Peps, Audioslave, Weezer, Metallica, and then he's done like tons of Trent Reznor stuff. But he's really like, this is such a long article, but he's really like he really thinks about the difference between being a producer and an engineer, and he's like, it's all this fucking terminology that he takes seriously that I don't give a fuck about talking about right now. But my point is, he sort of like, it was self-produced by the band with him, so he was kind of just there to like help them mesh it all together. But in this long-ass interview, I feel like he did say some interesting things that I think apply to this song. Like, here's the quote from this Get In Media interview with the producer. He said, "The thing I try to achieve on all records is recognizing the different spaces that sections of songs require. For instance, on the new Blink-182 EP, they were constantly talking about how they wanted the verses to have a certain vibe, and that really changes things, causing the chorus to blow out into a different space." So it's like, I think this song is a perfect example of that, because it sounds like there's a lot going on, and every bar, like they're thinking about how it should sound, and they're adding like little fucking flourishes and stuff. But they're not, like, as opposed to Feldy, who just seems to just be like, let's hit record and just do it really loud and make it sound really crisp and clean. This song just sounds like it's fussed over, but also cohesive.
Yeah, it's interesting how the transition from the verse to the chorus that he's kind of talking about is, it feels like those are two ideas that were probably developed in silos. Like it feels like a Mark idea. Like the Mark verse sort of sounds like Hearts All Gone a little bit. And then the Tom chorus sort of sounds like I can't remember which song. It's a Neighborhood song. I'll think of it later. But like they do manage to sort of find a way to bridge them together where it feels like a sort of cohesive jumping off point. And that's something that I think in particular on Neighborhood, sometimes when they tried to do it, didn't really nail. And maybe it's a function of the way it's been kind of produced and like the way they've been really effectively stitched together. Although weirdly, I think like the bridge kind of comes out of nowhere and doesn't totally work.
Yeah, I kind of agree, but I also think like they have managed to insert a bridge that doesn't totally work, but still doesn't completely like Neighborhoods just feels like it's a bunch of shit copied and pasted together because that's what it is. But this song is like, I just think everything about this song is what Blink-182 could be if they were still a band now. It's like so sort of advanced and fussed over, and there's attention to detail, but it's also just like pretty simple still and catchy. So I don't know.
Yeah, I found going back to this like actually really bummed me out because I remember listening to it the first time and like it's not like every song on this EP is good. In fact, several of them are super fucking bad. But the stuff that's good is so much better than anything that ended up on California. Because it actually sounds like the band. It doesn't sound like someone doing an impression of the band.
Exactly.
And you're kind of like, I don't know.
You said, what was my history with it? Well, I was going to say, so 2012, I think it was very like sort of, I feel like I was in my own circle, in my own world. I was very alone in liking Blink-182. Mm-hmm. I feel like I was the only person who like gave this a chance of the people I know when it first came out. But I remember liking some of it and then obviously being disgusted by some of it. Yeah,
that's the problem is like you can't just put this on the way you can like casually put on Tchopage or, you know, one of the sort of like generally kind of front to back good albums. Like it's profoundly flawed. But yeah, I remember like listening to this, you know, like only a few times though, because like I didn't buy it. I feel like I was maybe like just listening to it on Rdio or whatever the streaming service I had at that time was. And then it's not on a lot of streaming services. So like I have Apple Music and this isn't on there and I kind of just don't think about it. Like it sort of disappears from my memory, which is a shame because like this song is super good. And by the way, the chorus that it reminds me of is Kaleidoscope. It's the first time that I'm worried.
Yeah. People also say that, well, actually, the alternative press review, this is kind of funny. When it first came out, they said that it reminded them of Lycanthrope by Plus 44, which I can sort of hear. Yeah. Kind of does sound like a bit like Plus 44 era. But then in the alternative press thing, they said, the song feels like something Alkaline Trio would pen musically. Seriously, just picture Matt Skiba singing and it sounds spot on.
Whoa. Do you think like
eerie?
Did AP just like wishcast the future of Blink-182? Who wrote that? Do you not have it open anymore?
No, I just copied and pasted. Who gives a shit?
Dude, as a music journalist, you should care about bylines.
I know. Well, I made sure that it wasn't you, and it wasn't you.
I wish that, there was something in there. I don't think I ever wrote about Blink. You're the only one that's like had the, you know, immense privilege to talk to Blink about being in Blink.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Like it's not. I think it's constantly disappearing and reappearing on streaming services, which is one of those really funny things. Like whenever Pitchfork or even Exclaim, shout out Exclaim, whenever we write stories, like I just can't believe people care about like something's on Spotify now. Oh, it's not on Tidal anymore. Oh, it's on this now. It's like who gives a fuck? Like if you want to hear a song, you'll find it. Just fucking go on YouTube or something. But people really seem to care about what's on what website.
Yeah. Sorry, that AP review was written by Scott Heisel, who, when I worked at AP, he was like my editor, and I think we follow each other on Twitter. So, you know, I'll add him and let him know that he got also a former editor of Punk News. So we're just like talking about all the...
Oh, wow. We're just like deep in there.
All the Punk News boys and girls are in the mix today.
But yeah, so I don't know where it's on streaming services or what, but it's all these songs are actually uploaded to Travis Barker's official YouTube page. So
right.
That indie release, you know?
But that sort of like makes me feel a little like this is sort of was this like a Travis project? Because he's the one posting all the songs. The art is extremely Travy. Like, was he the one kind of like leading this whole thing along with?
It could be actually, because there's also
Dennis
like
Rodman's tattoo artist.
Yeah, there's multiple like drum cam videos of him playing these songs, and like there's like a Zildjian series where he plays these songs. They released like just the audio of his drum track when they're playing these songs live and stuff. So maybe you're right. Maybe this is like the Trav project.
Maybe they were gonna do what Green Day did with like Unos Dos Tres and release a series of EPs sort of from each of their kind of creative perspectives, which I'd be very excited to know what a sort of like Tom-centric Blink project would look and sound like at this time. But
I think it would probably be better than California.
Yeah, I think so. And honestly, that's how this really made me feel is like, you know, we've joked about this in previous episodes where I said I liked Los Angeles. And then when we'd go back and listen to classic Blink, I was like, I don't even know why I pretend to like some of this new shit. But this in particular is such a reminder of like where this divide happened, because like this is it. Like this is the end of this era of this band. And this is probably the best song on here. And so you're kind of like, could that have kept going, or would we have just gotten more songs featuring Yelawolf? Like, would it just have been weirder and stupider?
Honestly, half of this EP is atrocious, so it's hard to know. Like, it's hard to know how they get things right and then so wrong. And I wonder if it's just like on a hairline crack when they do it. But it's really hard to say. But I have a feeling that you think that this is like a sleeper hit or like a cult classic of the catalog. Like you think that like, because I think everyone thinks that this is to use another dog metaphor, the underdog.
I don't know that I think that. I was going to ask you because I feel like you've, you know, done work and I haven't. And I don't remember people talking about this. I mean, this would have been a time when I was a little disengaged probably from like the publications that were writing about this kind of stuff, or like the internet communities that were talking about it. But I don't remember talking about this or hearing anybody talk about this.
And then so we don't know where it's on streaming services or what. It's also like there's 3 different clear vinyl 12 inches on Discogs of this that are each apparently limited to 3 copies.
What?
So I don't know if they exist or if it's just like a funny Photoshop job or what, but I don't think it's in the Blink vinyl box set that came out. Like, it's like, it feels like a lost release. And because of that, on Reddit, people are always saying like, controversial opinion, but I actually think the Dogs Eating Dogs EP is fantastic. And then everyone will always reply and be like, that's not controversial. Like, people post this every single day on here. So it's one of those weird things that seems like a cult classic, but it's actually like so popular and there's so many covers and like it's really weird.
Well, yeah, I mean, part of the delay of this recording, in addition to sort of me being at a 75th birthday party, us wanting to celebrate Sonic 4079's birthday, and you having to work, is also the fact that as we were going to start recording this, you messaged me and said you needed more time because there were too many covers, which was when I finally was like, okay, so this song is like a thing for sure.
Yeah, it's like, it's one of those ones, but I also wonder if like, any Blink song that's remotely catchy probably has like a massive fan following.
Yeah, that's fair. Although like stuff like Not Now, which is obviously very catchy, but like, you know, we did a whole exclusive with covers from that, and that was kind of a surprise to me. I don't know. Maybe it's random. Maybe it's literally just everything. You know.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out as we get through all these fucking songs. But
yeah,
we'll warn you now that when I said there's a lot of covers, they are almost all absolutely horrible.
Great. I'm so excited.
Yeah. And I've written them all down this time to punish you for being late.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
So,
did you have other facts?
Clicked a link that was broken. Well, what do you think about the lyrics? Like, have you read the lyrics?
To be honest, like, even as I listened to it a few times today, I found myself absolutely not paying any attention to the lyrics at all.
Yeah.
Like, I know that he says dogs eating dogs, and then that's it. So happy to talk about the lyrics. Won't have a tremendous amount to say.
Well, I mean, people do think that it's about Mark and Tom not getting along or whatever. Your only hope is burning down the chapel, which they think is like burning down the sacred blink sound because they can't get along, or I don't know. There's all this shit.
Sacred blink sound. Is that your words or are those someone from Reddit?
I can't even remember. I don't even remember what I
where you
like,
end and Reddit begins.
Yeah, where I end and the web begins. No, it's in the comment on Genius. Someone says, "Forget everything that they built, which is the chapel, and then let it wash away." I mean, the whole song is like fucking full of mixed metaphors.
Well, yeah.
I don't know what it means that the fall sounds a lot like a symphony of cries.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
I mean, it's very late era Tom in terms of like grandiose turns of phrase that are utterly devoid of meaning.
Well, it's like every single line switches metaphors, actually. It's kind of amazing. It's almost impressive. I'm the last and the first in a very sad set of eyes, to the bone, to the knees, to the factory line. Like, first of all, you could tell me that was a fucked up song, and I would really
Yeah, that's extremely something that Mike Halachuk would write.
Yeah, it's very David Comes to Life.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, exactly.
But it's also just like, okay, Tom, I don't know what any of that means. And then he says, I am numb to the shot. So he's talking about, I guess, getting a needle. I have a crippling fear of heights.
Okay.
So he's just like telling us all, like giving us a quick bio. Because the fall sounds a lot like a symphony of cries. Like, what does any of that mean?
Okay, so he had to get a flu shot. He's afraid of heights. Yeah, I don't know. No, I have
you can't
no
even
jokes.
make it work.
There's nothing you can say.
You could do. It's just like so confusing. But I do. Well, okay, and then probably the worst / best line is, we need to find some middle ground. It's always sex or suicide.
Yeah, that jumped out at me because at the beginning it feels like it could be about Mark and Tom. Like, you know, we always starve and devour our closest friends. You know, like it feels pretty obviously about the two of them. And then that makes me wonder if all those sort of like gay panic jokes were actually kind of hiding...
Right.
Wouldn't that be like such a great twist if at the end of like all of that like kind of homoerotic broy joking around that we will get into, I guess maybe in particular the pop disaster thing seems like a good window in, but like if all of that was just like obviously we were gay, like what, you know, we literally would stand up on stage and talk about sucking each other's dicks like in front of tens of thousands of people.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. That'd be awesome. But somebody did point out that, so there's this like long ass comment. That's why I got the chapel thing too. But someone said maybe that line refers to Blink's catalog. Like it's always either like sex jokes or Adam's song, I guess, is their argument. Like, I don't think it's always sex or suicide. They only have one suicide song.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in general, yes. Imagine if that was actually how the Blink-182 catalog kind of unfolded. So you'd have like Voyeur, Adam's song, you know, First Date, Adam's song too. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's no other suicide songs, I don't think.
Yeah.
But then also this person or someone somewhere, I can't believe that I missed this. I mean, I'm just like so rusty because it's been so long since we recorded, but this is another Blink song about dogs.
Oh my God. Maybe the dogs.
They're eating out another dog.
That's what I was going to say.
Dogs eating out dogs. Yeah, it's about canine lingus.
Yeah, this isn't about like a sort of kill or be killed mentality. This is about just dogs giving it to each other, giving and receiving. Fuck.
The pup puss.
Just pop that pup puss.
I guess that's what it's about, maybe.
It's always sex or suicide. Like, and even that could work as reading the title as either one of those things. So yeah, dogs eating dogs could mean sort of a ritualistic murder-suicide between a pack, or it could be everybody going down on each other.
Right, so you think the suicide is more metaphorical, like dying to yourself in terms of you're worrying about someone else's needs instead.
Yeah, or it could be like dying. Is Shakespeare like called it's the orgasm, the little death? Is that Shakespeare, or does that just one of those?
Yeah, well, that's a fucked up song on David Comes to Life.
It is. So the whole the death thing is a Shakespearean metaphor for the dog's coming, and all of that also connects to the larger story arc of David Comes to Life, which had so David Comes to Life had several sort of 7 inches that were released as sort of a continuing arc of the story, like where they ultimately revealed that like Octavio made the bomb, like who made the bomb that destroyed the factory, right? And then there's also the song that explains that the entire record was like written at the Dufferin Mall food court, which is like literally the funniest thing that Fucked Up has ever done. Is like a really serious song about like, you know, Mike had a burger, I got some fries, as the conclusion to this like high concept Marxist concept album. And so maybe this song is like in that same world. Like we don't know.
Here's like honest. I'm not even like being facetious. Like these lyrics do seem pretty cheesy in terms of like in the context of a pop punk song. But if you actually like imagine some like high concept bloggable arty hardcore, and you imagine Damien screaming, this entire song could be a Fucked Up song.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like the most mysterious guy hardcore Blink-182 song. Oh,
but here's what Tom had to say about the lyrics.
Sorry, what?
Oh, please, yeah, mysterious guy hardcore. Go on.
That's it. I just remember when that was a thing for like 6 months, and it was just a way of describing fucked up. Like people pretended it was.
Well, I mean, I think it was. Okay, come on here, Sam. Come on.
Who are your favorite mysterious guy hardcore?
It was Sex Vid from Olympia, and oh my God, what are they called?
Blink-182 from San Diego.
No, Mind Eraser. That's what they're called.
That's true.
Those were like the two. Those were like the Blink and Green Day of mysterious guy hardcore. And then Fucked Up was in there too. But I feel like at the point of David Comes to Life, they were too like branded. But that was the ultimate. When people hate on Fucked Up, that's the beautiful irony of them, is that they've like been intentionally trying to get this big the whole time. Like it's all part of the larger art concept.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that like. I've thought that Fucked Up is like the most sort of brilliant, like concept band, I don't know, ever. I mean, like if you think about how much of that band's story is actually like the lies that they are constantly telling about themselves, in addition to the concepts that they're building on these like grandiose, you know, big stadium rock statement records or whatever. I don't know. I agree. They are sick.
It's so good. And people, and the fact that it makes everyone mad is awesome.
I feel like they still don't get enough credit for being as just like smart and mean as they are.
I mean, I kind of think that they're currently right now in sort of the dogs eating dogs era, where it's like they've done everything that they can do, and now they're sort of in between albums, and people have kind of just forgotten about them a little bit.
It's true. Yeah, well, and they put out that the Year of the Wolf with Yellow Wolf, and so
here's what Tom has to say about the lyrics to Dogs Eating Dogs.
Okay.
To me, it's about a dog munching on another dog's puss. I can't believe he said that.
I mean, you know, he still is capable of jokes. Like that Joe Rogan interview, he talks about taking his dick out pretty early, so.
No, but he's in full-on lame, pretentious Tom mode right now.
Yes.
He said, this was with themusic.com.au.
My favorite music news website.
Deleted.
Oh, so is it archive.org?
No, it's just an annotation on Genius, but the link is dead. Unless you have to be on Australian internet to get it to work.
I don't have any Australian jokes, so okay.
To me, it's just very representative of humanity, the constant fight to get ahead and the constant fight to win, summed up in 3 words. To everybody, that's what's great about art. It's different, and what I liked about it was ambiguous at best, so people can kind of think it means a few different things. I mean, half of what he's saying is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, mostly he's just saying nothing at all. So,
but that's good.
Yeah,
nothing is interesting.
I wish he was saying that it was about dogs giving and receiving oral pleasure, but
right. Well, I think he does, the one thing he says, which is probably what I tried to say earlier and didn't. I'm too unfocused today.
It's because you're at work. You have a Slack channel open. Is anything happening?
Nothing really.
Okay.
Not right now. There's nothing going on. It's fucking. The biggest story today is that it's Sonic whatever's birthday.
That is. You should write about that on Exclaim.
I think though Tom has actually said before about how he likes the push and pull of Blink-182 and he likes the clash of him and Mark.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that like we've come to realize that it was really important. Like the reason that the song sounds so fussed over but also good is because it's like every song is a really simple idea, but they fight and work really hard to get there. So it comes out sounding interesting instead of just the songs that are written in 10 minutes on the new album.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a stretch maybe, but I do think there's a reason why sort of Blink sits in a world of, I don't know, creative duos who occasionally work kind of at odds with each other. You know, again, this is like a huge stretch, but like, you know, The Clash was not good after Mick left, you know?
I mean, you could have just said The Clash was not good and I would have been fine with that sentence too.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. You know, Outkast, in my opinion, never quite as good, you know, on their own. And I recognize, actually, I feel like I can say this comfortably because if you're an hour into a Blink-182 podcast, you at least like them enough to agree that they are like as good as some of the kind of, you know, maybe more respected sort of great duos of our time. But you totally lose that when you just throw in Matt Skiba and have Feldy writing everything, right?
Yeah, they just like they need each other. I think that it's true. I honestly would argue that they are like two incredible songwriters, but they need each other.
Yeah.
It's like the way Guy needs Ian.
Yeah.
The way that you need me.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's the exact same.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of more good duos, but I think there is something about the push and pull of it. Like, because otherwise, like
Chris and Chuck in Hot Water Music. That's the only other one.
I don't care about them either.
I know. That's for that's to continue the punk news narrative.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what's another Simon and Garfunkel?
Sam and Aaron Zorgel in Junior Battles.
Right.
Classic.
Yeah. They really need each other. I don't know.
Yeah, that's good. I think we made the point.
No, let's just keep going with it.
Okay.
Let's see. Snap and Crackle from Rice Krispies. They don't really need pop.
No. Yeah, pop is definitely like the Ringo in that setting.
Actually, though, okay, for real, along those lines, what difference is there? Like, I mean, I don't really care about the Beatles that much either, but John and Paul, they're just writing like really simple love songs half the time too. Like, I actually think it's not that different to compare Mark and Tom to John and Paul.
Yeah, I mean, look,
it's like just like I want to hold your hand and all that kind of shit, and then it turned into this high concept like whatever submarine shit. At least fucking Tom isn't just getting high and thinking about underwater children's stories. He's like exploring space and time.
He's getting high and thinking about like above water children's stories.
Yeah.
Which is sick for sure. I mean, I think it's also fair to say that like most Beatles songs are also about sex or suicide. So, you know, I think maybe this song is sort of attempting to bridge the gap between the Beatles and Fucked Up once and for all.
I actually also feel like the phrase like to say like everything is sex or suicide, that's such a Bono thing to say.
Yeah. It's super Bono. What was the Bono thing? Did Bono say that music is girly now?
Yeah. Yeah, he said that.
Cool. So this is, that's another Bono thing to say.
Anyways, do you want to hear how awful they are at playing it live?
Yeah, you know I do.
So in 2014, this was on Reddit about how awful it is, especially after the intro. I'm gonna play it up for a little while.
Okay, cool.
Travis, play it.
Oh, fuck.
I don't think you could hear through the earbuds, but like almost every single lyric was about 2 bars behind.
Yeah, like it sounded like not like flat. It sounded completely incorrect. That was bizarre. How long did they tour after this came out before the band like broke up again? Like they didn't last long after this, right?
Well, I can't remember. Did they like? This was from 2014, and this EP came out at the end of 2012. And then I think it was at the start of 2015 that they were like, "Fuck, enough with Tom."
Enough. Yeah.
I mean, also in their defense, I want to say like sometimes there's videos of bands where like their monitor's not working correctly or something. But I've never understood how when that happens, you can play guitar in time with the drums but sing a full bar late. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless like is the guitar just are they guitar syncing or something?
Yeah, it kind of makes no sense what's happening in that. So I hated that. That was bad.
I thought it was good.
Oh, okay, cool. It's very experimental.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't think they've played it too much, and it would actually be interesting to hear them play it with fucking what's his face,
Matt Skiba. Show some respect.
Whatever that guy's name is.
You know his name.
That Hot Topic ass fucking goth jester piece of shit.
He wears too many like soccer jerseys to be full Hot Topic.
He just wears too many. You know what Matt Skiba dresses like is because I've been playing Mario Odyssey. I've been thinking a lot about outfits because that's a big part of the game.
Oh.
But Matt Skiba dresses like in a video game where you have like mismatched clothes, but you just want to like put on like this new shirt that you got in the video game store, but you have like striped pants and it doesn't really go with the jersey or the weird hat.
This is like way too specific an anecdote or a metaphor or whatever it is. I don't know. Like in a video game, striped pants. Like what the fuck, man?
Whatever. The fans are gonna love it. They're gonna be like, "Damn, that was a good observation."
I do have a question in terms of the band's fashion because when you click on, I was just looking at the Wikipedia really quickly to confirm that we weren't saying all the wrong years. And so the photo of Matt, which like I opened up because we were talking about his fashion, he's dressed semi-normally, like he's wearing black jeans and a Spurs jersey, which is black. But then I'm reminded, so like Mark is wearing that like, it's like an octopus shirt or whatever that he literally has been wearing live now for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, like what's with those octopus shirts? Like who gives a fuck about octopi, first of all?
I mean,
second of all, if you're gonna launch like this octopus clothing brand, like,
but that's my question.
It reminds me of
is
like
it a clothing brand that is this his clothing brand?
I think it might be his. Like, he turned like "Hi, my name is Mark," which used to be his blog, into like a shirt company or something. I think that's why there's octopi all over everything. But to me, it looks like those like dumb threadless T-shirts that like British coders wear.
It's it's something you'd get on like Teespring.
It's like the hipster lion with hipster glasses, or like or like a fucking rocket ship that spells out the word "hi" or something.
So I didn't realize, but yeah, you can get like that octopus on like everything. So they got octopus T-shirts, octopus accessories. It looks like it's like a tarot card set. There's like a keychain and a hat, socks, a tote. Oh wow.
I feel like it's here's the thing. It's funny that this came up because I was actually watching all these videos. I was thinking about like, first of all, Tom, whatever the fuck Tom was wearing around this time, he was wearing this weird like floppy beanie kind of thing. I don't even want to call it a toque, even though in Canada we call toques beanies, but it looks more like it's made of like jersey cotton. It's almost like a shawl that he just like lets hang off the back of his head, like that weird like stretched out toque thing that hangs off the back of his head. He wears these like weird fucking black. It almost looks like it's silk or like jersey cotton. I don't know. It looks so dumb. And then he wears all these bracelets, and he just has like, there's so much bullshit going on, and he almost looks like he's trying to dress like Johnny Depp or something.
Oh,
it's
nice.
So bad. But then when you think about it, you never really remember what Mark's wearing because he's always been wearing a T-shirt and jeans. And I feel like that really fits with his personality of just like kind of just like playing it safe. Like he's just phoning it in, T-shirt and jeans every fucking night.
Wow. This is so critical of a man who I hope to one day have on this podcast. Maybe he can defend his like sartorial choices.
I think it's smart though. Like I think when you get to a certain age, you're like, I'm definitely not going to start wearing fucking slouch pants. Whereas Tom DeLonge would have probably tried to pull that off.
Yeah. See, like, as a man who's like, you know, closet is mostly t-shirts and jeans because I think it's just a safe way to dress. I just don't want to start criticizing Mark for like doing the same, but like with an octopus. I realize I want to back off my earlier criticisms.
Right. I mean, I think you're just realizing that it's sort of circling in on you.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
Your own safe choices.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's
the vanilla flavor of my own life.
I'm not necessarily saying it's bad because you look at these videos now and you're like, why is Tom wearing like a Smurfs hat and like 7 bracelets?
Yeah, we got to get some bracelets. We've talked about merch for the show, and Eric Solomon. I don't know if he's a friend of the pod. I don't think he listens, but you know, friend of my life, Eric Solomon, who runs a big sort of merch company based out of Houston. We were like, what should we get made? What's like the most pop punk merch item? And he suggested like jelly bracelets or whatever. Which,
yeah.
Those are the things that the kids used to get in different colors and then have to perform sex acts on each other, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
What's the one for when a dog eats at another dog?
Yeah, that's red, like the lone color on the Dogs Eating Dogs EP cover.
All right, I think it's time to get to covers because I also have a friend coming over soon.
Oh, who's coming over?
My friend Ryan from Mint Records. He's in town.
Oh, hey, Ryan. I guess you
he's
can
a
say
friend
that
of the pod. He's he's listened to a couple episodes.
So you don't know if he's going to hear this episode?
Everyone always says to me like, "Oh, I love the pod," and I'm like, "Sweet, yeah, thank you." And they're like, "Yeah, I mean, I've only listened to 2 episodes, but
yeah, because it's too much otherwise." I actually was very impressed, and this was something that we missed last episode or a few episodes ago. But in the Passion of the Christ exclusive that you and your brother recorded, your brother did offer up the login credentials for his band's Instagram account. And this is like pretty deep in the episode. And a few days after uploading, friends of the pod, Daniel, Nicole, and Justin posted a photo of themselves on your brother's band's Instagram. So we know they at least get pretty deep. But I don't know about this Ryan.
No, he's definitely not that deep. And someone else drunkenly accosted me at a show last weekend, and I mean, he was like, "Look, I like the podcast, but I'm way too behind, and I can't like. What am I supposed to do?" So I just kind of gave him a list of some of my favorite episodes.
Oh, nice!
I think that might be a good way to do it, like a Cole's Notes kind of version.
Yeah, listen to Dysentery Gary, learn about your long johns, and then kind of just go from there.
Yeah, I think so. Anyways,
covers.
I think it's time for covers.
Yes,
they're all bad.
Okay,
and you're gonna hate it.
Sick.
Actually, I'm gonna start with this one because it's sorry.
It's fine. We're just talking recording
to me.
You're a popular guy. What's happening? What's happening in the Exclaim Slack?
No, it's Ryan making a plan. Okay. So because we were sort of like running late with this week's episode, I think this one is thematically really good. Mm-hmm. You're a tuber.
Yep.
As we've established.
We've established, consistently throughout this podcast. I have all the deficiencies that come along with having a YouTube channel.
I feel like your videos are pretty long, YouTube-wise. I guess maybe not, but well, what do you think? I mean, do you think about length at all with YouTube?
I don't think about length. I think about girth. Hello!
Wow.
Little blink humor there. Talking about sucking a dog's dick. No, there's a lot of, best practices that would say that like, oh, no one watches anything over like 3 minutes, yada, yada, yada. But because I'm all about quality content, I ignore that advice. And I say, I'm talking to this camera as long as I want to about like black metal surf covers or stupid nonsense like that.
Right. But generally the advice on YouTube is to be shorter.
Yes. Brevity is the soul of views.
Especially like Primetime 69, my brother, he makes like sketches on YouTube. And he's like actually gotten advice from people, including even Tim Heidecker watched one of his sketches and was talking to him about it on Twitter. But the advice is always that it's too long. Even if the video's like, 2 minutes long, they're like, fucking shave some of it off because we're all so impatient in this day and age.
True.
And I understand the irony of saying this when I just spend as long as possible drawing out these meaningless conversations on here. But I think podcasts are almost a different format. For some reason, you can put on a podcast and you don't care about how long it takes.
Yeah, I mean,
but if you hit play on a video, you're just like, what is the fucking point? Just spit it out, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
That's what I think when I watch a video. But this band, this French band, has instead decided to start their cover of Dogs Eating Dogs with a 1-minute sketch about them just waiting to do the cover. They're just sort of sitting around their practice space looking bored.
Wow.
I'm just going to hit play so we can have the audio in the background. They're just like spinning sticks. There's music on the background. There's a guy flicking a lighter.
So this is like one of those 90s music videos, because like I feel like this was a trend for a while where music videos had a lot of plot. And so...
Like I just yelled during a nap for some reason. Yeah, you're right. It's very 90s.
Yeah. Like indulgent for a band no one's heard of. Like it's fine to watch like a Mariah Carey, narrative setup, but I don't know about Camel Scope. God, it's...
And then he gets some text. It's all in French. Actually, let's play the audio in case anyone speaks French. So they can tell us on Twitter what they're saying.
Okay.
Mais une chaîne YouTube.
Ah ouais, je crois.
Ah, je viens de recevoir un texto là.
Ça dit quoi?
Oh mais chérie, faut faire des vidéos là.
Ah ouais. Non, je viendrai.
They're probably saying like, oh, we should record our cover of Dogs Eating Dogs now.
It's a good French accent.
Thank you.
It doesn't sound Quebecois. It sounds very French to me.
Yeah, well, I am actually French.
Oh.
I don't know if you knew that.
Hughes is the classic French last name.
Yeah, Hughes.
Also, like, what are they listening to in the background? It sounds like a wave race loading screen or something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I feel because I hate the sketch, but I also like that they did it. I mean, it's better than the actual cover, so this is what the actual cover sounds like.
Okay.
I got a feeling that fucking nights and bitter and we always tie and forward. How close your friends, my beautiful friends, paranoia, my paranoia, can't let me.
Okay, so
he's holding one of those old-timey mics. And I feel like everyone in this video is wearing like the biker leather jacket that looks like it's made of pleather, like Darnier leather from the mall.
Did you just call it Garnier leather?
Darnier, you know that leather store?
I don't know, man. That it's weird because you can definitely like hear the accents, but it also feels like you're hearing like a speech impediment as well.
Yeah,
because like there's certain things that like, because there's a lot of Quebecois punk bands that like you can tell have accents sometimes. Like everyone sings in English, but like occasionally there are words. Like I've been listening to a lot of Fifth Hour Hero again over the last couple of weeks. Which is like a truly sick band, but from time to time you can just hear like there are words that they, because they're all like actually, French, like Francophone Quebecois. And so there's a difference though between that and like some of the way that that's being pronounced. It's like there's a lot, there's like there's a lot happening there in the mouth, and didn't love it.
Yeah, and this is one of those songs that has been covered on a global scale. Like everyone's doing it around the world, and that is a common thing where I'm like, is this person being ableist when they sing this, or?
Yeah, depending on like if they're doing it over like the tom parts, then maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's not going to get any better than that.
Okay, great.
There's a lot of like teens recording it in fields and stuff. There's a lot of people who did exactly the same, it just sounds exactly the same but slightly worse.
Yeah.
So it's like, why did you guys do that?
But does it sound worse than the actual Blink-182 live version?
No, I mean that's next level. Here's speaking of the teens of a field in a field trend. I'll just play you one of them.
Okay.
This band is called Redemption.
Sick.
This was uploaded in 2013. It's 5 teens in the middle of a field. I don't know where. In all caps, it says, "I do not own or make claim to the copyrights of this song."
Wow. Glad to know they're not making any claim.
Look at that. They have 182 subscribers.
Oh, shit.
It's really all coming up 182 today.
It's all
but
Sonic 4079 today.
do you think that that in court there has ever been a situation where the judge was like, hang on a second, let me just read this status update underneath the YouTube video. They said they do not own the copyrights to the song. So he hammers the thing and he's like, court dismissed.
Yes, I do think that's happened. I think that when we start making our web series, which is one of the many things we promised to do, I think that should be a skit that we do. And maybe we can get Primetime 69 to kind of help us out.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to do really high production value.
Yeah, skits.
I also just want to point out in the comments of this, someone named Aaron Adimora said, "Why can't people play Blink songs on the street where I love?" I think he meant to say live, and then sad face, and then awesome. But I don't know if it's because he made a typo or what, but he has written that comment 4 times in a row.
Oh, okay. So maybe they're just like really hoping that they can make it happen.
And then somebody also does mansplain the song because they I mean, I think covers should change songs in general anyways, but they instead of playing the F at the dogs eating dogs part, they play an A. So anyways, let's listen and we'll see if you notice it and if you feel like they've fucked up badly Redemption by going to the wrong chord.
Okay.
Come on, you got to go to the F there, bud.
I know. Come on, guys.
It's like the one thing you got to do.
That sounded a lot better than the actual Blink version. So I thought that was great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why there's this trend of teens covering it outside. Also, because of all the drum cam versions I mentioned, there's I would say 100 drum cover videos.
Oh, sick! You know what?
I'm not gonna play any of them.
I just did want to say, this video really reminds me. So, I think you should post this at some point. I mean, it is just like a band, playing in a field. There's some houses and stuff in the background. It looks like there's a truck that's pulled up alongside them to kind of set up the sound system. And this reminds me a lot of. There was the first ever Junior Battles tour in the States. We played just outside of Baltimore at a festival called Suede Fest, which was run by the local ska promoter, Wayne Suede. Who, I think he had a suede jacket or whatever, and that was clearly his calling card within the local ska scene. And so it was happening in this backyard in this really derelict sort of part of the outskirts of Baltimore. And it was us and a bunch of sort of shitty pseudo hardcore punk bands. And it was so profoundly strange. At one point, the singer of one band went up to a band that was on stage and put his arm around the singer like he was going to sing along, and then stuck his fingers down his throat and puked all over the singer of the band that was performing.
Cool.
And then a bunch of them went to a field across the street, burnt a sleeping bag, and then a guy pulled a knife on bassist of the band and friend of the pod, Justin. And so this kind of looks like that to me, and it's evoking all of these uneasy feelings about, Suede Fest and memories of Wayne Suede.
Amazing. I never would have gotten any of that from this. This looks so it's outside the back of a church sort of.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm getting Suede-y flashbacks from it.
Interesting. Well, maybe those people also would pull a knife on you and puke on you.
Yeah, these teens look dangerous, is what I'm saying.
Well, speaking of dangerous teens, this song is beloved by teens, and there's so many covers. Some of them I just wrote down the band names instead of actually the cover because there's so many. So there's a band called Blinkers 182 that covered it.
Sick.
There's a band called
Do you think that
Proud.
band mashes up Blinker the Star and Blink 182 songs?
I mean, we'll never know because I didn't I didn't share any links, and I don't know how to search things.
Yeah, that's fair. All you do is scroll, man. All you do is scroll.
I just scroll. I'm just on that endless scroll. There was a band called Proud of Freak.
What? That seems like a sort of like a translation issue.
There are quite a few that seem like translation issues. Among them is also, I don't know if this is like, well, I don't know if this is supposed to be like an SJW sort of thing, but there's a band called White Knight, but it's like spelled with no K, like just white as in like the night itself is white.
Oh, okay. Yeah, weird.
And then here's the one I'm going to play for you. This is, I love teens who can't play music. It's my favorite. And this band is called Blame Society.
Well, okay, now here's a question for you. How do you interpret that? So the band is called Blame Society. Are they saying, like, in the words of Blink-182, if we're fucked up, you're to blame society? Or is it like, like a club? So this is welcome to the first meeting of the Blame Society, like the Midnight Society or whatever.
Yeah, damn. I never really thought about it that much.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably I'm guessing it's more of a blame, like they want to blame society for their issues, of which it's hard to imagine what their issues are at this age.
Yeah, are they 8?
Yeah, they look very young. I also didn't really look at the video too much. But I will say that is the most hilarious miniature Marshall stack that I've ever seen. It's like it looks like a Marshall full cab stack, but it's the size of like 2 practice amps stacked on top of each other.
And also the drums look really small, and like their dad keeps wandering in and out of frame.
Unless these boys are like actually giants, and that's a regular sized Marshall stack.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
I think I can see the Tom signature guitar on like a guitar stand behind them. So these 3 boys, I shouldn't belittle them. The members of Blame Society.
Yeah, and also they're very
garage.
small in this video, so I actually don't think you can like gender them either.
Oh right, I'm sorry. Yeah, and I can't do that. I shouldn't do that anyways because who am I to do that with anyone without talking to them first?
Exactly.
So that's fair. But these 3 members of Blame Society are in an open garage. There's like a tool kit with a mixing board. There's some foldy chairs.
It looks like sick.
Also, the garage is so large. Like the scale of that amp, if these boys are giant, or if these people are giant, then the garage is like the size of a Costco.
Yeah, it's true.
The scale is so confusing on this video. The other thing I want to say before I hit play on what is probably the best rendition of this song I've ever heard, there's some sort of problem with like YouTube phone uploaders from around this time, because I actually uploaded an upright iPhone video on my personal YouTube page. About I was just being a dick. I was talking to this guy outside of Mac DeMarco show, and he had clearly never heard Mac DeMarco in his life, but he was trying to tell me how big of a fan he was, and it was really funny. I was like, "What's your favorite song?" And he just couldn't name a single one, but for some reason he kept talking to me about how he's the biggest fan. Anyways, I filmed it upright, and it was doing this like weird wiggling thing.
So that's what's happening here
in this video.
Yeah,
like, I don't understand. There was an issue with the black borders. There's some sort of weird wiggling going on.
I don't want to derail into this, but I do want you to send me a link so we can include in the description of your like public shaming of a guy who doesn't like Mac DeMarco enough for you, Josiah.
No, it was like it's hard to explain. He's like a very Berta bro kind of guy.
Okay, sure. Because like you saw that video of the guy making fun of like the young woman wearing the Nirvana shirt, and like they're somewhere and Nirvana's playing, and he's like, "Do you know who this band is?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Oh,
yeah."
That kind of stuff is like, don't make fun of kids.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to do that. I wasn't trying to do that. I also I just like thought it was kind of funny, and I put it on my YouTube and forgot about it, and then it got like thousands of views because it has the words Mac DeMarco in it. But yeah, I'll send you the link.
Sick.
But either way, it was doing this wiggly border thing that's happening here too. I don't really understand. I'm not like I don't work for YouTube's tech department, contrary to popular belief.
Yeah, stop emailing Josiah with questions about the adpocalypse and demonetization. So should we listen to this squiggly Blame Society cover?
Blame Society. Okay, ready?
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, like it's better than the Blink-182 version. And to be honest, I don't think we should blame society. I think we should thank society for this great cover.
I love hearing teens play pop punk horribly. I love it.
Well, it's just the way it's meant to be played. Like super competent pop punk is embarrassing. Like play real music, you know? Like don't. Yeah, that's sick. I love that. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I mean, that only had 57 views. I hope that it changes and gets more popular and stuff. Here's another one along the same lines of what we've been talking about. I can't even remember what the music was like, but this band is named after Punk Poets, which is an unauthorized Blink-182 documentary where they only interview people that knew them from San Diego, like people that used to deliver pizzas with Tom or something.
Oh, weird.
Actually, Bill Billingsley was telling me we need to watch it, and I watched a little bit of it, and it seems incredible.
Okay, cool. So we'll do that and do
this band has
exclusive.
named themselves Punk Poets. Like, they've named themselves after this obscure, unauthorized thing.
Sick.
I don't remember what it sounds like. Let's try it out.
You
It's
know,
one of the songs that's just like, I don't think people should cover it.
You know, I was going to say something similar, which is like, you know, you don't have to play every cover you find, right?
Yeah. I know.
Like-
It's only because I wanted to talk about how they're named after that video, and then I was like, oh, fuck. And so,
Okay. I mean, you could have just told me that. And
yeah, I could have, but
no, I'm glad we went on a sort of deeper journey. I do wonder, because this video is not even a full 2 minutes, and this is a 3.5 minute song. So do you think they did like an edit of it or something?
perhaps.
Because it looks like they're done at the
must be.
end. Like they're finished by the end. Also, like the drummer has like a single like white guy dread. It looks like.
I think that I feel like this band is from not here because it says Complexo 14, which I assume is not. I don't know. We can move on from this one. I just wanted to talk about Punk Poets.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
This is okay. Here we go. This is the one I wanted to show you. I'm hoping that this is a Halloween thing because otherwise it's like horrifying. I don't know if the band is called Unknown or if it's just like an Unknown Dogs Eating Dogs cover.
Oh, what is
this video only has
there's a
6
conga
views.
on stage. What's happening here?
So the venue is called Willie's Locally Known. There are 2 people in full Nightmare Before Christmas garb. The singer and I guess the singer looks Nightmare Before Christmas. The bass player is just some sort of, is he the Joker?
Yeah, I think he's the Joker. Is this Nightmare? Like,
I don't know.
I feel like
or
she's
they just dress like this.
I think they're just dressed spookily. Is that
'Cause
dude
also
wearing
the-
a Raptors t-shirt?
Well, the guitarist like has like this giant mullet, and I can't tell if he's dressed up or not, or if he's like a real mullet man.
Oh, this is so
and he's
confusing.
wearing basketball shorts.
It's so confusing aesthetically. I don't know if she's dressed as a Nightmare Before Christmas person or just. I guess that's kind of Jack Skellington, right?
Well, is she wearing like a Santa hat, or is she just wearing a toque?
I don't know.
It's a toque, but like the guitarist is really what's throwing me off because like if he, like
He's like a
know.
bloody Joker. He's got the Joker like face done up, but then he's wearing a white T-shirt like covered in blood and like a heart. It's so, and there's a conga.
But the drummer's just dressed normally, and then the guitarist. I think as I skip through, I think that's a sincere mullet, not like a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
So I think maybe those two people just wanted to dress up for an open mic night.
God, that's so weird. Okay, but so Willie's Locally Known is in Lexington, Kentucky, and this guy is wearing red basketball shorts and a Toronto Raptors like basketball T-shirt, which is not like a really popular team.
Shorts on stage also not a good thing.
You do it once, and
unless
you
you're
see
in Terror.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a mistake you make once. You know.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay.
So I mean, I'm sure this was uploaded the 14th of October 2013. So maybe there's a chance that it's Halloween themed for two of them. The mullet guy, I'm so confused by.
Yeah, the aesthetically, this is like just a real treat of a mystery. Like, I don't understand.
Well, let's hear what it sounds like.
Okay.
On drums, we have. On bass guitar, we have my friend Ryan. And I am your singer. My name is Audrey Noel, and thanks for coming out to see us. We are Unknown. Our next song is going to be a song by Blink-182, which some of you may know. It's Dogs Eating Dogs, so enjoy.
All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man.
It reminded me of like when I was obsessed with Pretty Girls Make Graves, and I would watch a couple live videos where it was a little bit out of tune.
Yeah.
It kind of sounded like a bad Pretty Girls Make Graves.
I mean, in that sense, maybe I liked it. It's very Pretty Girls Make Graves. Or from a time when I thought I liked Pretty Girls Make Graves. It's like,
Remember when we all liked that band?
yeah, that was weird, right? That's like a real collective delusion or something.
Yeah, I mean, I really like this video. I like that it only has 6 views. I like that I'm so perplexed by everything about it,
Yeah.
from audio to visual. It's great.
It's so weird. And so this channel that it's on, he only seems to have 3 videos, and they're all unknown covers. Sorry. So they have 3 videos on this channel, all uploaded the same day, 4 years ago. Unknown Dogs Eating Dogs cover, unknown American Idiot cover, and then unknown immigrant song cover. Which,
Well, this really does contextualize maybe that Dogs Eating Dogs is a way bigger hit than we realized. Because
yeah,
that's such a deep cut to be playing with these other songs.
with immigrant song. Like that transition is dramatic. I also couldn't find anything about this band, so I looked up Unknown, Lexington. It looks like there's a DJ Unknown and also a metal band called The Unknown, but nothing about Unknown. This just beautiful mess of a band. What do you think? Again, just because where this camera's positioned, there is like a big ass conga, like right in the forefront of the frame. That it's sort of like Chekhov's gun, where I keep waiting for someone to hit the conga.
I think that it's just like an open mic night, so they just had a full backline
Yeah.
set. And perhaps even the mullet guy is playing with everyone. Maybe the guitarist and drummer are playing with everyone.
I don't know, man. I love it. This is great.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the one I download and put on our
This is
Instagram.
something special. Also, because I can't find the name, I really wonder if it was a one-off, because the idea that the venue is called Willie's Locally Known, but these are the Unknown.
Oh yeah! Wow.
It's like this is basically what Lost was about, right?
I mean, I would go see this band.
Yes.
If you guys are listening, I would go see you. I'll book you.
I mean, I won't book you, but I'll go. I'll tell you who to talk to in Toronto.
I'll front the money. I believe in you guys. I'll front the money to fly you across Canada tour. Let's book it.
Okay, so hit us
They will
up.
come.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if their immigrant song cover is as good as their Dogs Eating Dogs cover, that's money in the bank for you, my friend.
So I was hoping that I could find something like out of the ordinary, and I got really excited because somebody had written drum and bass with an N, and I was like, oh fuck, finally something electronic. But it was just they took Travis's drum, so like the solo of the drum recording, and played bass over top of it. So it's very disappointing.
That's too bad.
So I have a couple left here. I'm going to play you one just because it's you were saying that I don't need to play you everything. But I do want to play you this. The SoundCloud username is Shitty Phone Recordings for Brandon.
Okay.
So, I mean, look, Brandon's gift is a gift for all of us, actually.
Okay, cool. So I'm going into this with modest expectations.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there in the username.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so let's hear what...
I've got a feeling, these broken nights and bitter ones. Who is always starving if I would. My closest friends, my beautiful friends. Paranoia, my paranoia. Can't let it go, it never lets me go. I'm feeling why, I'm feeling forecasting suit of freezing cold. Dogs eating dogs, dogs eating dogs, dogs.
Yo, I'm going to be real. I loved it.
Here's what I think.
You sighed a lot, so I don't think you agree.
I think that this person who uploaded it is doing a little bit of false humility by calling it a shitty phone recording for Brandon, but then really trying very hard in the vocal department to do some real put some emotional heft on it. So I think it's a little bit misleading and a little bit unnecessary false humility to call it a shitty iPhone recording.
But I mean, is it recorded shittily on an iPhone? I mean, they're not saying. I think it's the burden is on us because we're so negative that we assumed that shitty was describing the performance when in fact she's just describing the like audio fidelity and the
right, but
and
even
the
that,
device.
the fidelity is not as bad as I've heard much worse.
Well, I mean, like an iPhone's got a decent microphone on it.
Yeah, so I just think, look, if you're going to call it shitty phone recordings for Brandon, first of all, just send it to Brandon. Don't post it publicly for us to be able to find it.
Yeah.
Second of all, the recording should be shittier than the other recordings out there. So I have a lot of issues with the presentation of this.
Right, okay.
And I do think the vocals were a little bit much for my liking.
Yeah.
But you know what? I guess that's why and that's the thing. It's now immune to criticism because they've said that it's shitty all along. So whatever I think about it, they can just say, "Yeah, well, it's all right there in the title."
Exactly. They've sort of protected themselves from criticism. Is this part of like a whole shit? Like, I'm curious about the for Brandon part. Like,
well,
who's Brandon?
Shitty phone recordings for Brandon has 5 followers on SoundCloud. None of them are named Brandon.
Okay.
First of all. Second of all, there's only this one upload, so that's another issue. It should be shitty phone recording. There's only one.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of issues here.
I don't know how I feel about the framing. I find it confusing, and maybe I'm inclined to agree with you. Perhaps unnecessary.
Right, but
just call it phone demo or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just you don't have to like. First of all. And if it's just for Brandon, why did I find it?
It makes me feel like a bit of a voyeur.
Then the episode starts right now.
It's like an episode within an episode. It's like Inception. Yeah. But that episode actually plays at half speed already, so.
I have to still get dressed and clean my house before my friend comes over.
Yeah, okay. So is that it? Are we good? Or do you have
I've got one more.
Okay.
There's still plenty more. There's some that were very uncomfortable, some that were very bad. There's that Odie acoustic guy did a very earnest acoustic cover that was like,
love him.
Whatever, it's kind of nice.
Okay.
But someone did a full band cover that's just like them doing instruments.
Okay.
And what I love about this one is that they, instead of singing it, they've played a guitar lead as the melody of the song. So I'll play that and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. It's great. I can study to it.
Yeah, I love it for a very specific reason, and I'm wondering if you can guess what it sounds like to me.
I mean, it sounds like a cartoon show theme or something. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like Power Rangers or like X-Men or something.
Okay, that works. But to me, that sort of single note melodic guitar playing sounds exactly like classic Gob.
Oh, it does. Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds
totally
like.
Like I was just sitting here making Theo face the whole time.
Yeah, dude, that's super Gob. Oh, okay, cool.
Like, yeah, I guess maybe that's what I've always loved about Gob. Maybe I didn't realize it till now because I always thought it sounded their guitar lead sounded like pirate shanties or something so odd. But maybe they do just sound like cartoon theme songs.
Yeah. No, I mean I like so we've centered the song sort of as like existing somewhere in the sort of spiritual realm of the Beatles, Fucked Up, and Gob, which I think is perfect.
2 out of 3 are bands that I like a lot.
So what are your final thoughts on Dogs Eating Dogs, Josiah?
I think that it's a really, really good song that no one, including the band Blink-182, can play.
I think that it's a great song. It bums me out that like we never kind of saw this continue, and instead we just get sort of Feldy woes forever and ever. Better than nothing, but still just makes me sad for what could have been. And I'm also amazed that despite having dogs in the title twice, it took until about halfway through this episode for me to realize that this is another Blink-182 song about dogs. So
I know.
I'm pretty stupid. I can't see what's right in front of me, but I love that this song sort of sits comfortably in the canon of like animal fucking songs that we've explored so far on this podcast.
And now we have a guest.
No, there's no guest this week, so this was just us. This is classic format, classic cast, and then in the new year we'll start trying again. But we didn't want to.
Dude, I interviewed Tom DeLonge.
Oh, okay, cool. So then this is. Do you want to like set it up in terms of like what Tom does or whatever?
Hey guys, it's Tom DeLonge here. Just want to say,
I got nothing.
You could have been like, hey guys, it's Tom here. Happy New Year.